evening, good afternoon from wherever you're tuning in. It's your sis, Moon Magic, and welcome back, y'all, to Tea and Tarot, where moods and melodies meet over tarot and beats. It's your sis, Moon Magic. I'm a hip-hop artist, MC, educator, and professional tarot card reader based in Sacramento. And today we're here to vibe with our intuition and pull some cards for the collective. I ain't gonna lie, your girl real tired, so we're gonna do a quick dive into the energies this week. Keep it kind of concise, but make sure it's still thorough and making sure we still get the messages out there. I also know that there's so much going on in the world since we last even spoke. It seems like this last week has been months that has gone by. So I just want to start by, sending my prayers out to the world and really just acknowledging the times that we're in and how difficult and challenging that they are. And encouraging everyone to continue to really make sure they're reflecting, make sure they're taking clear action, and making sure that they're listening to those who have been involved in the work, and especially for those who look like me that don't look like you. So let's go ahead and hop into this week's Tea and Tarot. I'm going to start by grabbing all of my tarot card decks. And we're going to hop right into the messages. I don't have much for the check-ins. Like I said, a girl real tired. And I also have a band rehearsal after this. And I'm taking 4 classes this semester, so I can't be on this live for too long this week, unfortunately. But next week, I am so excited because we have Cameron Love, who will be joining us here on the live, and that's going to be a really awesome discussion, and just really opening the space of, talking a little bit more about what does it mean to really discover who you are in a system not designed for you. Cameron Love is a trans Black artist here in Sacramento, and I'm just really excited to have them come onto the space and talk a little bit about their journey, and set off Black History Month together, since next week I believe will be February. Yeah, it'll be the beginning of February, so definitely join us next week for that discussion. But this discussion, like I said, I'm going to keep it pretty short, and we're going to go ahead and just dive into the messages for this week. And if y'all have anything that has been going on in your world this week, let me know. Yeah, we're just going to hop right into it. And I'm also going to put my information up, as always, if you feel called to donate. No pressure, but I do have a link for that, as well as my Patreon account, where you can get more information and be able to get an individual website or individual reading from me on my Etsy website. And also where you can find the Patreon, which is a monthly subscription where I continue to pull cards for the individually for people there, as well as share messages. And it's also where you can just find a bunch of other random stuff of my music, etc. And then we're going to go ahead and get started. So yeah, how is everyone doing? How's your week going? How are we holding up? Let me know down below in the live or here on the playback. And I'm going to go ahead and add this on here. Sorry, I'm trying to type right now. One time I did try to do this ahead of time and copy and paste it in the chat, when I was live, and it did not save. It doesn't work that way. At least I couldn't figure it out, but maybe that was just me. I see Critch Christ up in the building. Ron Dizzle was good. Loverboy Drew, Nova Grey Wolf. I think I saw you from Ari's boat party, right? Sorry, y'all. I'm so delusionally tired. I was up at so I woke up today at 8 a.m. and had school all day today. I got home an hour ago from that. And like I said, I have a rehearsal later, so I'm in between the in-betweens. But also, I was up to 3:30 in the morning because we finally finished recording Indigo Queen's album. I'm so excited about that. I'm so excited for her. I believe I got to produce 5 beats on the album. And I engineered the whole project, which was really cool to have my first time really recording for another artist the whole entirety of an album. But yeah, that's why I'm so tired. I probably got like 5 hours of sleep, you know? Okay. Anyway, let's go ahead and hop into it. Enough about that, enough about me, and let's dive into these readings. All right, so I got my sound bowl here. We're going to take a moment to just dive in and to take some breaths and to ground in. It's something I like to always do before, especially on days like this. It helps me to clear my energy and to help those who are receiving the reading to make sure that their energy is clear and their discernment is clear, because that's so important. And if you haven't already, you know, and you're watching this on the playback, definitely pause the video. Go get your water, your tea, whatever your drink is. Let me know what you're drinking down below. I just got water because I'm real dehydrated as per usual, because, you know, I love my coffee. All right. So let's go ahead and ground in, and you can put your feet firmly planted on the ground, or crisscross applesauce, or whatever really is comfy for you. If you want to close your eyes, you can close your eyes and sit up straight or lay down. And we're just going to take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Thanking your guides, my guides, and the divine for this space today. Another deep breath in through the nose. And out through the mouth. Just asking that these messages come in a good way for our highest good. All right, another deep breath in through the nose. Out through the mouth. Just really checking in with ourselves. Seeing how we feel today. Whatever that may be. I'm not judging it, I'm just allowing it to be. And our last deep breath in through the nose. And out through the mouth. Asking that these messages come for our highest good. And that the space is protected. And that your discernment is there to know what messages are for you and how it applies to your life. And so it is. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and get started, y'all. And let's go ahead and pull a card and see what we get for our collective message this week. I'm going to start with the regular tarot deck and see what comes out for the overall energy. We got Chariot card reverse. And the Queen of Pentacles reverse. I'm going to give you all an opportunity to vibe with the cards. Well, let me put them upright first. And let me know what you all see, either on the playback or here on the live, if there's anything that sticks out to you, any images that stick out to you, colors, things like that. And then we'll jump into it. Give y'all a couple more seconds. All right. So the first thing I heard when I saw the Chariot card reverse was like crash out. This is major. I talked about this last week too. I feel like it's been major crash out energy for a lot of folks. And I know for myself, it's part of like where I've been a little more maybe like distant. I won't even say distant. I've just been trying to take more time to make sure that I'm grounding and making sure that I am making decisions and responding rather than reacting as much as I can. You know, I'm a human being. We all make mistakes. No one's perfect. All the things. But I mean all of this to say just that the energy right now is pretty chaotic. And I think that's really coming through with the Chariot energy, whether we're talking about our personal lives or things that are happening outside of our personal lives. Is an energy where it's very easy to spin like our wheels to spin out. And that could also be like feeling burnt out. It could also be, you know, like getting into an argument and just like crashing out, you know, in an argument with a friend. And it can also just be like real tension and conflict that we might be seeing happening. And with it being reversed, it's also like a full stop type of energy in terms of like really having to fully stop and being like, wait a minute, what is happening here? Wait, collecting our bearings type of energy. too. The Chariot card upright is traditionally all about, moving forward and continuing to be that warrior and kind of like hell or high water, we gonna make this happen. And with it reverse, it's an energy of like how, oftentimes the Chariot breaking down can be the energy of what it's translated or interpreted as. And it also can be an energy of things feeling off balance. And definitely with these two energies coming together, it feels very chaotic. It feels very uncertain. It feels very destabilizing and very ungrounded energy. And I think that's what is currently around us in the different aspects of our life, personally, interpersonally, globally, et cetera, et cetera. So definitely think about how this can apply to your life, what areas you may see this kind of chaotic or ungrounded energy coming in. And it's also like an energy of where we may be seeing a lot of fear reactions, insecure reactions, and reactions that are coming from a place of kind of like the basic survival, right? And that's because of this like Queen of Pentacles being reversed, which upright is a very grounded, secure, feeling stable, right? Like a lot of people, if we're talking about globally, do not feel stable, right? Economically, right? People are not feeling stable. People are not feeling safe, right? People are not feeling, abundant, which is usually what the Queen of Pentacles represents. So reverse can signify all of that energy. And that also could reflect on the personal level too, of like not feeling secure with oneself. Maybe there's aspects of oneself that are being called to attention, especially with, things that are happening. You might be called to reflect. You might be called to, we might see it also bring tension and pressure onto the things that are happening in our interpersonal relationships as well. And this can create kind of like a domino effect in terms of this kind of chaotic energy. So combined together, it feels very, like I said, chaotic, not grounded, not secure, and a time of instability. And I think this is, very much on par with what is happening at many levels and many aspects of our life. Let me know what you all got from these cards down below. I always like to have those who are receiving the reading to get the chance to tap into their own intuition. Because like I always say, there's no hierarchy in tarot. And I'm always really interested too in seeing what speaks to your intuition when I pulled the cards, because I think it's an important part of the reading as well. I see Joey Baldwin said, "Good afternoon, Miss Mo Magic." Good afternoon, Joey. I'm glad to see you up in here. I see a couple other Slick MC up in the building. All right, we're going to go ahead and move on to advice. I feel like this general energy is pretty obvious to see at this moment. And again, this can be happening personally with like conflicts in personal relationships. This could be happening with like internal conflicts, right, with oneself. This could be happening with just in general, like I know for myself there's been this energy of like feeling a lot of anxiety personally that I've been needing to like, okay, let me make sure I ground myself and take some extra time to like do some grounding. And it could be, other kind of mental health related things, that might be popping up or are kind of coming up more. It could be health related things as well, because, our health is wealth, right? So if we're not feeling healthy, if we're feeling sick, under the weather, if our health is not good, that also can make us feel, unstable, right? This kind of energy, right? So on a personal level, maybe for some, this might be struggling with some health issues at the moment. And on other interpersonal ways this can show up can also be like having issues in your romantic relationship, maybe like conversations that are like petty or fights that are petty, or just like some of you might even be going through breakups, like having like a big blowout with somebody you really care about. And then obviously we can also see how this is playing globally with everything that's going on in the world. And like I said, the economically, right? And people not feeling stable in what they thought to know to be true of how things once were. And definitely economically, I feel like we've been seeing this for a while. And then of course, like I mentioned, people's safety as well, on the day-to-day. Scruggs says, I think you're dead on. It's an atmospheric thing going on right now, especially as the year of the snake is coming to a close. 100%. I feel like it's the year of the snake closing type of energy for sure. Because I believe February, I know it's in February. I want to say it's in like 2 weeks. Maybe someone can look it up. I don't have my iPad with me. But I know that the Lunar New Year is starting in February because I remember looking it up maybe like 3 Tea and Taras ago. Because the energy at that time was like, oh, it feels like things are kind of closing out and it's going to get kind of crazy, like flushing out the energy type of vibe. And I definitely think you're right on the money right there where we are. Yeah, we're still really feeling all of that. And I see Joey said, hey, Moon, did you see your video with me and MC Wix? We did the wave. What? No, I didn't. What? I did not see that. That sounds really cool. Shout out to MC Wix one time, and shout out to Fresno. Every time I go to Fresno, it's always good vibes. It feels like family out there. I love y'all so much. Alrighty, let's go ahead and pull some advice cards. I think the overall energy is kind of probably pretty obvious for most of us because we're probably all feeling it. And so let's go ahead and look at the advice and see what we can do during this time. Knight of Swords. Okay. I'm going to pull out a supporting card. And Six of Pentacles. Alright, I'm going to let y'all vibe with this real quick. And let me know what you guys think. What are these cards giving for advice? Let me know down below. Hey, Indigo Queen's in the building. What's up, girl? I was just telling everybody I'm hecka tired because we was up finishing your album. But how excited I was that your album's done. Well, almost. About to put the final post-production, sparkles on it and all that good stuff. But I can't wait for your project to drop, girl. Anyway, sorry, I got distracted. What do y'all see in these cards here? Let me know. What's sticking out to you all, and then we gonna hop into it. And if you're watching on playback, definitely drop a comment down below. Let me know. So immediately, for myself with the Knight of Swords, the first thing I thought was like keep charging on ahead, regardless of like the situation. But then it made me want to like double back on that to like really think about like, is that I really have been feeling like it's really important to like really be mindful of what we're saying and what we're doing and how we're moving and been feeling that with the album moving different. That's why I called it that. But also just in general, like right now, especially with this energy of crash out, like being so strong, and the reactiveness, but also like it was this card came through as a message of like, but it's still important to do the thing, whatever the thing is, to act and do the thing, to say the thing, to stand up for the thing, to send the message, to take the charge, to whatever it is that you need to do, that is on your heart in this moment. So I there was that came through immediately that I was thinking of as well. But then there was also the part of like Knight of Swords being a fast energy and kind of, kind of like a come and go, kind of fleeting type of energy. So it made me also think of, so sometimes when the Knight of Swords comes up for me, it can also be a reminder that like just as fast as something comes in is just as fast as something can leave. And I don't exactly know what that has to tie in, but I feel like that might be a message for someone specifically. If there's something you're dealing with right now, like a communication or event that kind of happened within your personal world, that is stressing you out or something like that, it might be a specific message for you. And then the Six of Pentacles, as soon as I saw this, that made me think of like mutual aid and like community aid and like really like working together with the people around us. And I feel like that's really important, not just on the like global level of like where my mindset personally has been with things, but also like in terms of like our personal lives too, right? So like, let's say there is a conflict that's happening in your personal life, tension, things like that, being able to, see Six of Pentacles is about like giving and receiving in a way that's reciprocal for me a lot of times when I see this energy. And so even in our relationships or situations where we might find tension, is remembering that like the relationships that are really worth it, that, matter, doesn't mean that you won't ever have tension. It doesn't mean that you won't ever, have situations where you got to take accountability, or where you're, you know, called out on some things, or flipped, right, where you might get hurt, right, depending, I mean, obviously with boundaries, right, but, you know, people are human, and sometimes we step on each other's toes, and that's like all part of, you know, loving another human being, right? But the Six of Pentacles here is making me think more of like the people who really matter, though, are the ones who like want to work through that, and want to grow with you, and want to take accountability, and will come to the conversation, and will come to the table, and will show up for you, and really keeping that in the forefront of our minds, of how important those kind of relationships are. And not everybody is you know, is that type of person in your life, and that's just, you know, kind of what it is. But I feel like it's coming through as an advice to like remind you to focus on the relationships and the areas in life that have that kind of energy, whether we're talking about the work that we do in our communities, whether we're talking about in our personal lives with our friends and family and the people that we love. And I do see this like Knight of Swords energy of like taking charge in the ways that we can have that kind of, I just keep saying like the affinity symbol, like, you know, showing up to the table with what it is that you do have to offer. You know, you may not have everything to offer, you may not have all the things, right? But what is it that you can take the lead on? What is it that you can bring to the table? What is it that you can, how can you show up, right? And then also in the same breath, right, making sure that those you are around are also doing the same. Like, we're all showing up in the ways that we can, and that looks different, right? That looks different. Not everybody can show up in the same way. That doesn't mean that everyone has the same love languages. If we're talking about a relationship, right, it doesn't mean that everyone has the same communication styles, right? But it's giving that energy of like, when we do show up, and we do show up in the ways that we can, there's a lot that can happen that can really move the needle and push things forward. And this kind of is giving me that same kind of energy. So as an advice card, I would say, like, if you are having a conflict, maybe in your interpersonal relationship, kind of evaluating, maybe it's like, oh, maybe we just kind of stepped on each other's toes. Maybe that was like some quick conversation that just kind of came in, and we just got to clear the air, and it's okay, you know? Or maybe it's this kind of relationship isn't a reciprocal relationship. It's not, you know, one where we're really, there's like give and take. Maybe it's one-sided, or maybe it's not a relationship where the person is really valuing you, or you're not really valuing them, vice versa. And you might need to evaluate how important that relationship is to continue. On a personal level, I feel like it's like very important that you're like pouring back into yourself, while also equally pouring back into others, your community, the world, what you're doing, so that you're not burnt out. If that burnt out message resonated with you from what I said from the earlier energy, and doing the things that kind of like keep that infinite energy and well going, keep that flow happening, so that you can show up for those things that you believe in and those people that you love. And like I said, on a community level, this could be, getting involved in your community and showing up and asking how you can help. And also for others, it could be going to places in your community to receive help. And that relationship kind of being, is symbiotic the right word? Where like you give help, but you also receive help. And it's this, you know what I'm talking about? I think it's symbiotic. Okay, I hope y'all know what I mean. But, it's like, I wanted to say codependent, but that sounds unhealthy. Not codependent, but, interdependent, which a lot of community should be that way. It used to be that way, right, back in the day. When we all lived in villages, everyone had a role, and the role was not the same, right? Like, the hunters were hunting, and gatherers were gathering, and, the caretakers were caretaking, all the things. It's given that kind of vibe as well on a community level, and doing your part to make sure that you're contributing in the ways that you can, and making sure that you're also taking that action. This is a very, very action-oriented chord. Sorry, y'all. I know I am tired. My cards are falling all over the place. Okay, let's pull some oracle cards. Let's get into it. Look at that. Tower card came out. Oh, but the sun card's here. Happy baby. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and pull an oracle card here from the Threads of Fate deck. This deck always be giving it to me straight. We got Dare to Dream and the Universe. I love Dare to Dream. This card is giving, especially right now, how important it is to continue to hold the vision, whatever the vision is, right? If you're building something in your personal career, your personal life, you're working on a team, holding that vision of what it is that you are going towards, because, with chaotic energies, it can get really muddled and get lost in translation and all the things, but I also see this with like holding the vision of like on a community level of like what it is that we are really it's giving, like, not hindsight, foresight, what's that called, where you're like you see the future. Words aren't wording for me today, but you all know hopefully what I'm talking about. Having the vision of what you want to see to come 10 years from now, and like really, keeping that in the forefront of our mind as we're making decisions and moving forward, rather than like maybe the chaos of what is here currently, right? It's like continuing to just show up and grab the hammer and pick up trash, and like knowing it's that vision that you are building towards and that you are working towards, so that reality can even come through. So hopefully that makes sense. And then we have the Universe. What? All right, let's see what the book says. I always like to read it, like I say, because sometimes there's extra messages on there that stick out to me that I didn't think about, even though I worked with these cards a lot, or that might stick out to you and might be a specific message for yourself. So definitely, if something sticks out to you, let me know. That's definitely probably a message for you. So I always like to read it because I don't want to block no one's blessings. You know what I'm saying? There's probably more in here that's good for you, and I want that for all of us, If I can find the card. Well, I found the Universe. Let's go with this one first, okay? I see Scruggs says, you're doing a great job, Moon. It's so good to see you doing your thing. Catch up soon. Keep shining. Thank you. And the synergy. Yes, synergy and symbiotic. Yes, okay, that is what it was. That's right. Thank you for being here, and thank you for the lovely comments. Even though, like I said, I'm on the struggle bus right now, but we're good. We're gonna get through this. The Universe says this card asks you to fully trust that there is a plan for you and that you have the support of the unseen. There are forces at play much larger than you could imagine. Feels very accurate to the moment, right? Surrender to what you cannot control and trust in the idea that Spirit is always orchestrating what is most needed. This card may come at a time when a cycle or trial is also coming to a close. Phrase any what-if questions in a positive way. What if this is going to be okay? What if this is exactly as it should be? Sometimes we become paralyzed in the practical world because we are waiting for Spirit to show us the way. However, the Universe co-creates with us. We must be empowered as humans in this dense reality to show up for what we want and trust that Spirit will do the same. If you are someone who is always asking for signs, try to take a break from that. Trust yourself as well. Ooh. That definitely was giving being empowered as humans to show up in this dense reality for what we want. Definitely is giving that Knight of Swords energy that I was mentioning, of like making sure to do the thing and stand up in the way that you are feeling called to in this moment, and know is important in this moment to do so. And let's go ahead and find this Dare to Dream one. Hopefully it'll pop up, or you might just watch me flip through this book some more. Let's see. Goodness. Also, IQ, if you're still in the building, did you want to drop the release date on them, or are we holding off on that? Because I can share the release date if it's ready to be shared. All right, Dare to Dream. No dream is too big for you. This card is an invitation to step wildly into your dreams, to visit them often, and to ask them what they need from you. Despite what your current circumstances are, and no matter how far away you feel from your dreams, Spirit is telling you otherwise. We often neglect our dreams because we do not know how to attain them. But the process of going after them is a collaboration with the universe. If you show up for them, they will show up for you too. And this card can be a little cheesy, you know, but I definitely think like the heart of the message here is whether this is applying to like your career, your dreams, your aspirations, or even if this is applying to like things larger. It's so important that no matter how far away the thing seems, like it's impossible to envision like a reality like this. It's important to envision that reality so we know where we're headed to, and to be able to even allow that space for it to come through, and not from like a delusional perspective of like, oh, all I gotta say is like the world is peaceful and it's gonna be peaceful and that it's peaceful to me because I'm not gonna see the non-peace. Like, that's not what I'm saying, because that is a whole other thing that's a whole other conversation. But what I am saying is like how important it is to continue to like radically like hold that vision while also showing up for the realness of what it is and working through that still, and still believing that that future is possible, and showing up to be able to make it happen, and believing in yourself and in that future that it can come true, right? So that's definitely how this card was resonating to me, and the messages that were coming through earlier. But definitely whatever comes through for you as I was reading that, definitely take that as your own personal message. IQ says, yes, ma'am. Yes, you can. All right, y'all. So February 14th is the official release date. So keep an eye out for IQ's new album, the Love album. It's been so fun getting to work on that project with you, girl, over the last, man, it's been, when we started, like October? We've been working on this, y'all. We've been working on this. So it feels very, like we're getting to that final, like, you know, getting that final feeling when you're like getting all excited about something because you're like, ooh, we done did that. Hey. All right. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and pull the next card, the Angel Cards and Goddesses deck. Let's see what comes through for y'all, for us here today. The angel families. Oh. As soon as I saw this card, I just kind of got hit with like a big wave of emotion, just really thinking about what's going on in the world, and how families are getting torn apart. Sorry, hold up. The card says the angels surround both you and your family at this moment. And I'm just going to go ahead and read the card. Yeah. All right, angel of families. Let me show you the card so I can make sure it's censored. Do not worry about your family or loved ones, for all will work out. The angels surround you and your family at this time. Feel their love and their light, and know that both you and your loved ones are forever held in the eternal embrace of love. Surrender your fears and any concerns you may have for your family, a family member, or a loved one to the angels, and know that the situation is being healed and transformed right now. Gently close your eyes, feel and visualize those who you love being bathed in light and love. Imagine beams of love emanating from your heart and mind, infusing and surrounding each member and loved one with beautiful healing energy. In turn, feel the light and love they emanate to you in return, and thank the angels for their assistance. Woo. And I do want to say, if this resonates for you and is a helpful message for you, to definitely take that as a message for you. But I also can understand if the message feels, some things feel beyond prayer at times. And this is definitely one of those situations globally that I feel at times can feel really beyond prayer. You know, like real action is really needed. And so it's totally okay too if the message doesn't, land in that way for you. But it's the message I wanted to come out. You saw me shuffle here live, y'all. I did not pick that card myself. So I'm just pulling. And it's very important when I pull to like remind myself and others that, you know, I'm also part of the collective, you know what I mean? Like I said, there's no hierarchy in tarot to me. So, you know, I definitely know that, you know, I'm just as valuable as anyone else. IQ says, heavily produced by the one and only Moon Magic. I know who produced the other 2 beats. I know there was, XCVI produced one of them, and then I don't know who produced the New Love one. And I see Cairo's in the building, and Felicia. Hello. Shout out to Cairo one time. We've been taking classes together for our audio engineering program, and it's been heck of fun having class together. Sean is ADHD. Oh, that's right. That is right. So shout out to Sean is ADHD and XCVI. They're the other 2 producers on the project. I wanted to definitely make sure to shout them out as well. All right, y'all. I have one more card, and then I am going to hop off of this and try to close my eyes a little bit before this bound rehearsal. So yeah, let's see what comes through. Our last card. Take another deep breath. Okay. One last message. Oh, you gave me 3 cards. Come on. One last message. Hey. Is that Lynn in the building? I was reading the name right. Welcome. Can't tell from the picture though. Alright. One last message. What do you have, Spirit? What do we need to hear right now? Speak to our hearts, our bodies, our minds, our soul. Just keeps wanting to send me a million. Collaboration brings more sweetness into my life and into the world. I focus on what is working. I live each moment with presence and gratitude. I welcome clear vision and inspired action. I'm going to read this one for sure, because this is the one that a clear vision and inspired action, because that's been the message since last week of like taking action, but making sure our action is clear. Like we're making these choices from a place that is adding to what it is that we want and what we're trying to do, opposed to harming it. Lynn, hi, I miss you too. Thank you so much for popping in. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Love you, girl. Shout out to Lynn. We taught together 6th grade for, man, I wonder how long. 5 years? Was it 5 years? How long was it? For quite a few years. No, wait, 3 years. 2 years. 2 years? Man, my brain is like fog brain right now. Anyways, we're gonna go ahead and read this last message. Definitely if one of these stick out to you, the collaboration brings sweetness into the world. You know, I think this kind of goes with that 6 of Pentacles energy, like making sure we're collaborating with the right people and you know, making sure that it's that kind of energy, that synergy, symbiotic type of feeling. Lynn said 3 years. That's right. 3 years. That's right. Okay. I shall remember. And this one says, I focus on what is working. I think this is very important as well. I love you too, girl. Have a good one. Thank you so much for joining. But yeah, continuing to focus on what's working. And just like, that's very Knight of Swords of this energy here. And then I live each moment with presence and gratitude. And I always feel like these cards kind of pop up, especially when there's so much going on, maybe in our personal, our interpersonal, and so on lives, reminding us to just really continue to practice gratitude in the things that we do appreciate in our lives. You know, like a big one for me has been like really practicing gratitude for those that I love in my family and community, and taking that time. Like, you know, we can get so stressed out and so in our heads and in our survival bodies and all the things that we forget to love up on the people who are in front of us, or to, you know, really, really be able to share that appreciation for those things. So I definitely see that how this message could be playing. If it resonates, of course. I also completely understand not being in a place of gratitude or, struggling to find that energy. But I do think it came out here for a reason for somebody here. And all right, I'm gonna go ahead and read this one, okay? And IQ says, "You are my collaboration, not my competition." Timmy G. Yes. I think Timmy. Shout out to Timmy G. Super dope saxophonist. Here in Sacramento, had said that and shared that in one of our network chats. I think it was somewhere I saw them post it. Maybe they posted it, but yes, you're my collaboration, not my competition. That is definitely the vibes. Okay, let's go ahead and read this one on a real big level. You are my collaboration, not my competition. Number 5. A seed of passion and desire live within each of us. This seed is our spark, a voice that reminds us of who we are at our core. It keeps us on track, inspires our mission, and craves clarity. The eagle is strong medicine. She can soar to great heights and intuit the winds of change while maintaining a clear perspective and grounded connection to the earth. When your vision is clear and you know what you want, taking inspired steps forward feel more effortless. If things are not yet clear, the sincere act of asking and listening will lead you there. Imagine you're an eagle soaring over the majestic landscapes that make up your life. Embrace all that you've created and acknowledge your journey. This bigger picture, bird's eye view can help steer you as you welcome clear vision and inspired action. And so it is. Alrighty, y'all. I'm going to go ahead and leave these messages here. I want to thank your guides, my guides, and the divine for this space today. I want to thank you all so much for tuning in. I hope you all are taking care of yourselves and your community. And yeah, I will see you all next time. Thank you all so much for joining. And make sure to check out the links down below on the playback if you're interested in getting some more information and stuff like that. But aside from that, I will see you all next week with our special guest, Cameron Love. Make sure you come tune in. We're going to be talking about discovering our passion and, our purpose in a world that is not designed for us. And specifically for them as someone, like I said, who is a Black trans artist here in Sacramento and a phenomenal just human being, first and foremost. And I'm super excited to have them come on here and share a little bit about their story and talk a little bit here on the Tantara space. So I will see you all here next week, 5 to 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Thursday. All right, y'all. Talk to you later. Bye.